Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for joining us. As the government forges ahead with plans to revitalize the economy of Grand Bahama, a former executive of the Grand Bahama Port Authority unveiling a new business venture today that promises to bring communities together and breathe new life into the nation's second city. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us that the nation's leader was on hand for the big event in the heart of downtown Freeport.
A cross-sector of the Grand Bahama community turned out to witness the official opening of Immerse Bahamas, a destination and project management company specializing in authentic Bahamian experiences, the brainchild of former Vice President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ginger Moxie. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie delivering the keynote address, noting that Immerse's partnership with Sister Cities International, an organization with a global reach, was a sound decision. He also pledged his support to President and CEO Ginger Moxie.
If you need our help in being able to persuade Mrs. Kane that there are an abundance of opportunities in the Bahamas for her members, whether associated cities or persons within that membership, and more particularly an abundance of opportunities for would-be investors on the island of Grand Bahama. But do not let this be a titular, symbolic, kind of warm association. Let this be driven by a dynamic understanding that you are in business, and business means making money, employing people, stimulating the economy, employing people, being able to encourage new entrepreneurial interventions, causing unemployment to go down, causing employment to go up. That's what it's all about.
The nation's leader told Moxie that the opportunities before her are profound. He believes Immerse has a significant role to play in the future development of the country and can figure prominently in the tourism industry.
Tourism industry in the Bahamas has always been a multi-million-dollar industry. And we are continuously seeking to improve our destination through new rooms and improvement of the existing room inventory. In 2013, 6.3 million tourists visited our shores, with strong indications of an even more impactful growth arrivals and expenditure this year. The Bahamas is poised and determined to reclaim its regional dominance in tourism with consequential spin-offs for businesses such as Immerse Bahamas.
President and CEO of Immerse Bahamas, Ginger Moxie, is excited to bring such a diverse venture to the Bahamas.
What makes it so unique is that the primary focus of the organization is our people, our culture, our communities, and our experiences, which means that every group that we bring, every project that we spearhead, every event that we manage, every PR campaign that we embrace has something to do with our cultural or community immersion or projects that impact people in a positive way. We are committed to events and projects that reflect positively on the Bahamas and what it means to be Bahamian. We promote Bahamians at home and abroad. We encourage entrepreneurship in the area of authentic tourism product development. We support artisans who need help in promoting their products globally.
The opening also marked the official launch of 700 Partners, a nonprofit organization which focuses on community initiatives.
It's not just for Grand Bahama Island, but all islands of the Bahamas. And it's a coming together of all. The government of the Bahamas, Sister Cities International, People to People International, corporate Bahamas, civic organizations, churches, volunteer groups, sporting bodies, the media, and people from everywhere to make a difference in communities and the lives of others.
The Prime Minister and other invited guests were taken on a tour of the facility following the ceremony. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, also at today's opening of Immerse Bahamas. Dr. Darville highlighting the significance of the new management company to the government's agenda.
The year 2014 has been declared the year of culture by our nation's leader, the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie. And in doing so, he has demonstrated our commitment as a government to Bahamian culture. I am certain that companies like Immerse Bahamas will help us to realize this essential goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly excited about the future of Grand Bahama Island and wish to congratulate the management and staff of Immerse Bahamas as we work together to raise the standard to serve excellence throughout our country.
President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority Ian Roll and President of Sister Cities International Mary Kane also gave remarks at the opening ceremony.
Ginger has proven over the years to be a key asset of the organization and was quite involved in the significant restructuring that occurred within the Grand Bahama Port Authority over the last few years. As I mentioned earlier, her motivation has always been on helping our people and bettering the lives of Grand Bahama community and by extension the entire Bahamas. Her new role focuses on just that.
At Sister Cities International, we firmly believe that global connections help communities thrive. These relationships can be based on schools, cultural interest, humanitarian assistance, and economic development. I'll just give you a couple of examples. When the tsunami hit Japan, their sister city, Riverside, California, raised $635,000 for the recovery of their sister city, Sendai. And when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, their sister city, Matsuo, Japan, raised close to $40 million for the relief effort.
The Director of Education, Lionel Sands, confirmed to ZNS News this weekend that electricity was restored to several schools here in Grand Bahama late Friday. Sands said the Ministry of Finance has settled the outstanding bill with the Grand Bahama Power Company, which led to those disconnections last week. But the Education Director could not give the exact amount that was owed to the power company. While on Island today, Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, was asked about the mass disconnections at the public schools on the island.
I am always exceedingly disappointed when a major corporate citizen of the country demonstrates unchristian, uncharitable actions. Meaning what? Meaning that the least offensive of all of the government's agencies, right, and the most important would be the schools, where there are children and through no fault of their own, something happens. In this instance, the Grand Bahama Power Company says they weren't paid. But what do they cut off? They cut off opportunities for school children in the last moments of the school year when report cards are being issued and there was major disruption. It doesn't make sense to me, based on the discussions I had with the chairman, based on the lady who is the chief executive here in Grand Bahama. It makes no sense to me. It is inconsistent with the kind of relations we ought to have between ourselves, and it motivates a government to look at the big picture in our country as to how to go about ensuring in our country we avoid this kind of incident.
A solution could be in the works for the flooding problem at the Fishing Hole Road. For decades now, during the hurricane season or during adverse weather conditions, the main thoroughfare that connects West Grand Bahama to the rest of the island often becomes impassable. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, says, after extensive discussion with companies in the industrial sector, they have come up with a workable solution.
We are now going into the intricate nuts and bolts with the engineers for the actual design of the causeway. But as far as all of the studies have been done as a result of tidal flow, surges, the impact with the final phase expansion of the harbor company, all of the necessary groundwork is completed, and now it is just for us to complete the engineering drawings, which will guide the contractor for the construction of the Fishing Hole causeway.
Dr. Darville says the causeway will be a capital works project. Engineers, he notes, will have to determine how high the causeway will be elevated, and culverts will be installed to allow for the free flow of water. A date has not been decided for work to begin, but Minister Darville says one thing is certain: they do not want to pursue this project during the hurricane season.
I am convinced that, like the expansion that is taking on the Chicken Farm Road going towards East Grand Bahama, that is earmarked for a bridge. We would like to have the construction going on simultaneously in Grand Bahama so that when we open the Grand Bahama Highway and we open up the road going from east to west, we will have a bridge coming from the east, and then we'll have the causeway going to the west. And I think that would solve our problem with interconnection of the entire island of Grand Bahama and stop putting that excessive load on the Casuarina Bridge.
As the cost for constructing the causeway has not yet been determined, nonetheless, it is expected to be considerably less than the cost of building a bridge. Police are investigating a shooting incident that occurred in the Freeport area last night, and they say the gunman is still on the run. According to reports, shortly after 11 o'clock last night, police received information that a woman had been shot in the Bass Lane area. Reports say a man and a woman while in the Bass Lane area were approached by an unknown man armed with a firearm who fired several shots in their direction. The 24-year-old woman was hit during the incident. She was taken to hospital and her injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Police are still searching for that gunman. A man was reportedly accosted while on the beach, and now police are searching for the two persons who they believe are responsible. Police say the incident occurred around 7:30 Friday night on a beach in the Lucaya area. The man reported that he was approached by a man and a woman who held him up with a pocket knife and robbed him of $35 in cash. The pair then fled on foot. The male suspect is described as medium-built, 5 feet 4 inches tall. He was said to be wearing a red shirt with black stripes and a dark-colored pants with a low haircut. The female is described as having dark complexion, short hair, and was wearing a short black top with a short black pants at the time of the alleged armed robbery. Police are investigating this matter. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
An international service club assisting the disabled across the northern Bahamas. The club's local branch exemplifying their motto of service above self. The Rotary Club of Freeport doing their part to assist the less fortunate and disabled across the northern Bahamas. President Queen Roll says the wheelchair donation program was made possible with the help of a number of partners as well as donations from the community. On Friday, members of the club offloaded over 100 wheelchairs to be distributed.
I can guarantee you that these will not be in this warehouse for long, as we have persons lined up already waiting for the wheelchairs. This particular initiative is spearheaded by Rotarian Steve Gunn. For more than 10 years, he has volunteered his time in overseeing the needs of those less fortunate get served through this particular program.
Rotarian Steve Gunn says the program has been in place for the past 12 years and has assisted hundreds of persons that have been unable to purchase wheelchairs.
The criteria for the wheelchairs is basically we will present them to people that are not in a position to obtain one for themselves, and we work very closely with the Northern Bahamas Council for the Disabled, and they basically receive the applications and vet the people and then forward them on to us. Anybody that feels that they know somebody that is deserving of one can contact the Northern Bahamas Council for the Disabled or our club president, Queen Stubbs, the Rotary Club of Freeport, or any of the Rotary Club presidents. They should all be able to contact myself so that we can set up a distribution and review the application.
Assistant District Governor for Grand Bahama Mike Stafford says they are proud to be doing their part within the community. He says they are also grateful to their sister club out of Florida for donating the wheelchairs.
These wheelchairs came to the island through a donation from a Rotarian in District 6960, which is on the other side of Florida, as a result of when they were here and they inspected the Rotary water plant, and they were so impressed with what the 4 clubs and the Rotaract Club of Freeport has done to put a hurricane water facility in times of a hurricane, and they saw a wheelchair on display there and they said, "Hey, you guys do wheelchairs?" And I said, "Yeah, but we're out." And they said, "We'll change that." And they made a $25,000 donation to get these 110 chairs here for us to distribute to the needy. And we're very proud and we're very thankful to that.
President Rose says Rotary is all about doing good, and they plan to continue their efforts within the community. Local government elections are over, and newly elected practitioners are setting their agenda for the way ahead. For the team elected in the Pine Ridge area, they say the youth will top their agenda. Joan Davis-Rowe reports.
Now that the local government election process is over, the youth of one of the oldest communities on Grand Bahama will be the focus. On Monday during the local government elections, a confident newcomer, Clifton Francis, who captured some 374 votes, says his platform includes developing a hub to provide stimulating programs for area youth.
I want to be able to strengthen up some things in Pine Ridge, reopen up the community center in Hawksville and try to get some things done in the different communities. So that's a plus for our team.
Realizing that the youth represent the next generation, Francis, along with running mate veteran Councillor Melvina Aubrey, who captured 358 of the votes, will serve for a fourth consecutive term. Their motto, people first, as they promote wisdom and strength. You've teamed up with a veteran in this area. How do you feel about that, and what do you think you will bring to the local government process?
Well, I feel that together, is wisdom and strength. She knows about local government, and I have more to learn about it. But I feel that with the knowledge that she's going to give me and the one that I'm bringing to the table, we'll be able to equip and mesh, and we'll be able to get it together.
Local government plays a very important role, especially for residents here on Grand Bahama. What do you think about the process? And you've been a part of it so many years. Tell me about how you feel.
Well, there are a few things that I would like to see, change in the local government. But all in all, it's a very good cause for the communities. And like I said, I love to work, people in the community. I love to work in the community because I do a lot of community work.
Joan Davis-Rowe, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightburn is up next with sports.
It's sports time, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightburn on a Monday. Let's get right to it. The St. George's Gymnasium is the venue for the Shining Star Basketball Camp. Lots of basketball and some Christian values. The Shining Star Basketball Camp at the St. George's Gymnasium was fantastic. The camp for boys and girls Monday and Friday was a treat for top-notch basketball instructions and detailed basketball input. Now the campers are enjoying the experience and for the most part gaining basketball knowledge from a number of top-notch instructors.
Of 60 campers, and that's a good number. We want to have a good ratio of campers to camp leaders. We want to isolate the kids who need more instructions. With 100 kids, some of the kids are going to get lost. So we want individual attention, so that's the reason we have a good number, 60, and we have like 5 camp workers to work with those 60 kids.
The final aspect of the camp is designed to showcase the campers and the grasp of the game of basketball. It's a universal game that children of all ages enjoy, and they know that they could possibly be the next star of the game.
I like about the camp because I'm meeting new people and I'm learning the new tactics of basketball with a good coach, and I just hope that it goes on longer so we have better games.
I like the camp because it teaches us a lot about passing and dribbling and not to hog the ball, and that we can have fun and that we are able to learn more and better.
I like the camp because it helps people to experience how to play basketball and how to be yourself.
Way to go, kids. Okay, you've heard all the hoopla about the Miami Heat Big Three opting out of their contracts. Well, the Minister of Tourism, Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, says that, guess what? He's a die-hard Dolphin fan. And the question they put to him was the loss to the Spurs and the future of the Miami Heat.
I learned something. You may have the best ball players, but it's not the best ball players that win, it's the best team. So that's the message for all of us. If we put together the teamwork, the team concept, we can win. And I think we learned a lesson from San Antonio, and the Miami Heat has learned that lesson as well. They're younger players, and so they have more to learn, and they'll come back and be champions next year.
September comes very quickly. Your take on your team?
I feel very good about it. I think they have to make some decisions over the next several days, and whether you keep the team together. I like what Pat Riley said. He said you keep the team together. If you take a lesson from San Antonio, they kept that team together. They kept adding to it, adding to the big three. They kept adding, and that's because you have the core. And if you have a good core, then build around it and strengthen it.
I have tried every day to get the Minister of Tourism, that is Honorable Bobby Woscombe, to give up on the Miami Dolphins. He says his Miami Dolphins team will get to the Super Bowl one day.
When we had a meeting with Dan Marino recently, we were discussing strategy that could possibly be utilized by our team. And I'll always say, yes, we're going to win the Super Bowl. But, you know, I think we're going to be better this year. I think we have a good team that's, again, young men who are beginning to gel. And I think as the team goes through this season, you're going to see greater improvement. It'll take us another year or two before we get to the big game, but we'll get to the big dance one day.
That's an honest man. One day, year or two or three or four or five or six. Okay, let's move on. Bahamas Billfish Championship is in the record book, folks. The 32 boats fished the Bahamas Billfish Championship in Guana Key, Green Turtle Key, Treasure Key, and Marsh Harbor, Abaco. The winner was presented with a Billfish Championship ring, which was a pretty good one as well. And James Jr., the Wave Paver, also won it with some 5,700 points. And overall title was received by the Hardware, and that is the Bobby Jacobson Marlin Darlin with 5,200 points for second place. Frank Rodriguez Laflemme was third with 4,300 points, and the young anglers also had themselves a wonderful time as well as they fished over there. And the bottom line is this: they are all looking forward to 2015. The young fellas there all showing off their fish, and that's what it is all about. When you get into the Billfish Championship, you can have yourself a wonderful time. Congratulations to all those guys for making it happen, okay? They tell me that's it for sports. That's the way it is.